to the Living Farms podcast, the place where we discuss biodynamic practices worldwide for you, your farm, and the planet. So, welcome to the Living Farms podcast. I am extremely happy to welcome today two very amazing women from Sekem in Egypt. These are Angela Hofmann and Konstanze E. And welcome. Thanks for being.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
So at the beginning of the podcast, I always dive into the topic by asking, how did you come to biodynamics, and what are you currently working in this field? So maybe we start with you, Angela. How did you come to biodynamics?
I think I brought it with me when I came to Earth. So from a little child on, I always wanted to work in the garden and with animals especially. And in all holidays, we had to go to a place where there are cows. And it was very clear for me always that I will be a farmer. And as I was in the Waldorf school, my father was a Waldorf teacher. So I grew up in an anthroposophic environment. It was also clear for me that I will work in biodynamic agriculture, which I then started directly after the school.
Wow, that's great. And what are you currently involved in at Sekem? What are your tasks there, or what do you do?
My main task is now caring for the biodynamic preparations. We make them central in Sekem for all Egyptian biodynamic farmers. We grow the plants and we make the preparations. And in training for the farmers, also for the students from the university, from the schools. So training and the biodynamic preparations, and also doing research in the biodynamic area.
So what about you, Konstanze? How did you came to biodynamics and anthroposophy?
I came actually to Sekem, and part of it was biodynamics, part of it was the plan for the school, part of it was my family. So I'm not specifically biodynamic or agriculture. I don't have this background. I'm a kindergarten teacher, but I have been part of it, of course, and I have been living with biodynamics for 40 years and plus now.
Yeah, you both were living before not in Egypt, and then you both moved to Egypt to be there with Sekem, which I think is a big step. And Sekem has developed drastically since the last years, and you have been a big part of this change. So maybe for the listeners, can one of you explain what Sekem exactly is and what you're doing there in the desert? What kind of wonders you're doing there? Yeah.
Kind of wonders. Shall I start?
Yeah, please.
Well, the story starts with Ibrahim Abouleish. He's Egyptian, and he was born in Egypt. He went to Austria when he was 19. He studied there, he worked there, he founded his family there. I'm lucky because I married his son. And he didn't really see his home country for several years. And then he came back in 1975, and he saw many things which were new to him and many things which he was not happy about. And he was a person of action. So he made a plan. What has to be done, or what could be done in order to support the right things and to support a good development for this country. And then he came back in 1977. And he started by buying this plot of land, which we are on now, and another one near Cairo. And he had a big vision. He even wrote, he wrote a letter to his father which he totally forgot, but his father gave it to him many, many years later. And he was at that time already dreaming about schools and a hospital he would do for the people, and he would do agriculture in the desert, and he would, you know, uh, work in sustainable, he didn't call it sustainable at that time, but in healthy architecture and all that. So he had this vision from early on, I believe. And then the second thing for him, as far as I understand, because I stepped in 1978 or 9, the first thing for him was to long for people. He had the deep wish that people would come to support him and to help him. And then it went from there, and here we are. Many things developed.
Mhm.
So at first, he dug wells to get water in the desert, and then he planted trees to make the environment for a farm, and then started with the cultivation. And from the very beginning, he decided to do biodynamic agriculture. And then on the basic of this biodynamic agriculture, he installed production with this processing on the product, on this biodynamic product. So, and always he told all people, if you have good agricultural products, you have to make an added value on them. Don't sell them like they are, because it's very cheap and you cannot earn money. So you have to have a processing unit to make this added value and to get profit out of it, so that you then can invest in the culture. So this was always his picture, and what he, through all his life, tried to tell people that this is the healthy life, or the healthy way to do agriculture and to build up a community.
And I mean, you really have a community. Like when Uli Hota and I visited you in November, it was so amazing for me to see that it's like a big oasis of flowers and trees and people coming and going, and it's like a vivid beehive, so to say, because you have all of these different components, but they're really connected and flowing into one another. And for me, it was very impressive also to see that how you integrated the Egypt culture in that way. And maybe Konstanze, if you don't mind, like it would be interesting how you managed at Sekem to integrate biodynamics and the regional culture in such a vivid beehive system. So how did that work?
Was this in November your first visit to Sekem?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully not the last.
We are in, no, I hope so too. We are incredibly blessed, really, with so interesting guests, so really exquisite guests, handpicked. But there are many, we are really, really blessed. We say this every now and then. We are traveling, of course, as well, but we have lectures and they come and they support us, and it's amazing. But the other part is more for you, Angela.
How to communicate the biodynamic agriculture to Egyptians and also the anthroposophy.
And also, I mean, I have the feeling that at Sekem it's vice versa. So both sides, it's integrating biodynamics, but it's also integrating about Egypt culture and traditions. And that was for me very impressive to see how you managed those two together.
Yeah, this is, even for us, it's a daily wonder what we experience when we in getting involved in any problem solving or in any task, and we work with our Egyptian colleagues, and we get to discuss how should we do this or that. And then always something new is coming out of it. Not a German solution, not an Egyptian solution, but it's really something you created. And this is from a very early point we experienced that, isn't it?
Yes, and I just remembered Ibrahim Abouleish has written in his book that for him it was the other way around. He was born in Egypt, so Egyptian blood, but then he lived himself into the European culture. And when he came back, he had those two, and he was very much, he loved the European culture, and he went actually to Europe because of Goethe. He was searching for Goethe's, you know, and then he said a miracle for him was that something new emerged, something third, not this and not this, but something third. And this is what we try every day. And this is very exciting, and it's a learning path for all of us.
And I just recall that you have certain structures and ways how you ensure that the people are communicating, that they get together, that they exchange also with the different generations. I mean, you're now in the fourth generation, I think, at Sekem, or like the small children are the fourth generation growing up, so to say.
Yes.
And like, how do you cultivate the social organism of Sekem?
This is, yeah, it's very complex, you know. It's not easy to say this in 2, 3, 4 sentences because it has so many levels. So one thing I see is when we came here, you definitely had two worlds. Although there was something third emerging, it was still two very different backgrounds and two very different worlds. And there was no way you could eat on one table. People didn't want this, even though we invited them. It was they couldn't eat in front of us. You know, these things, cultural things. But then our children went to school with their children. And there already a lot of things happened. And now when I see my grandson playing football with, you know, the kids or grandkids of one of our colleagues from the older times, it changed so radically. So it's something very, very new and very powerful emerged. And this barrier is not there anymore. So this is one thing we observe and we are very happy about. Because also, you know, we started, you can say that the starting point came from the European side. But now we for example, when there was a festival, there was no festival basically without us, both of us and a few other people. And we did everything. And the last festival for me was eye-opening because we did basically nothing. And it worked perfectly fine. And this was a highlight. One of the key persons was a boy from the 13 villages. He went to our kindergarten, he went to school, he went to the university, and now he's in, you know. And he wouldn't definitely have a problem eating with me on one table at all. The opposite, he would be happy and I would be happy.
Even he does.
He does, yeah, right.
He eats in the same cafeteria with us, so
yeah.
We are together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this development takes time. So if we have forced it in the beginning,
yeah,
and putting all together, and we have now we are one community, and we have to make this together, and it really would not have worked. So one has to give space, and one has to give time, and then things will develop. And also sometimes our teachers told us, yes, we understand, we have to change and so on, but give us time.
yeah.
Give us the time to do it, because it's really it changed the human being.
And this goes for all of us, including us.
Sure.
Yeah.
And yeah. I can only assume, and please totally correct me if I'm wrong, but farming can be a intermediate, so it can be a mediator for time and for communication. And maybe Angela, like you were also farming a lot with the people, or like being on the fields. And I just know that when you came to Egypt, you didn't speak Egyptian, so you
Yeah.
needed to learn. And there with farming, it was also a way of communicating together on a common language, or?
Sure, it's always, if you work together, if you do things together, then it's the bridge for coming together. And there, the first step, what I had to learn, I always tried to explain people why they should do this and this in this and this way. But they didn't want to know it. They told me, tell me what you want me to do and how you want me to do it, and I will do it. So this was the first step from me to learn. And it was really a great path, great journey, and it's until now. So I think it's never ending. Until we will die, we will learn, and we will also fall in these thoughts, what are evolving every then and when, where we think in a German way, and it's another thing. So it's really nice to develop and to go on.
And also so many things, so it changed so much, because 2-3 days ago I had I'm involved in the textile business. So I needed to know how many boxes, 40 by 40 by 60 centimeters, is in 1 cubic meter. And Henny, this guy, you know him? And he came to my desk, and I explained to him, I really need to know how many boxes per square meter. And he said, okay, I can do that. I need 5 minutes, but may I ask why? I was so thrilled about this question. Why do you want this from me, And it's a very normal question. And it's wonderful to see that people, you can work with people then much more. It's more linked. It's more, melting into each other.
So when you consider your beginnings on Sekem and in biodynamics, so what were the things that the people were interested in most on the farm level, but also on the social level?
When we started?
Yes.
There were no people when we started.
Okay.
There were, today when we have our weekend circle, we are 1,000+ people. But when we started, and I still remember this because I always had Sarah, my eldest, with me. She just, she was 1 year and a bit more. She was just walking. And she used to walk in our circle, and the circle was 15 people maybe. And that was the big circle. So that were the people who lived and worked here. So things changed. And nobody asked for anything. People just wanted to join and to work, and they were very attached to Ibrahim Abouleish. He was their father figure. He was a very kind, very loving person, and they felt this.
And they worked and loved to work and wanted to work for him, coming to work for him, and not question what he wanted from them to do. It's okay. And even if he shouted with them sometimes and was really not good, and we tried to tell them, it's malish. What is malish in
Never
English?
mind.
Never mind. So they told, no problem. He's my father. He's my father. So it's everything fine.
Yeah.
And in this kind, you can really build up a farm, and you can really also work with the biodynamic preparations, because what he is saying and what he is telling, that's fine, and this is right. And they felt it that he really did everything for their sake. So this was the direction we were going from the beginning.
But today it's totally different, of course. Today people are looking for more and more. They feel that this holistic approach is very, very essential to their basic needs, actually, you know. And from the very beginning, we have been working in the 4 dimensions, and I think this is a key to success everywhere for anything, at any time, in any place. Because it requires different people, by the way, because 4 dimensions is, you know, the culture, and in the cultural sphere, different people would live than compared to those in the social sphere, societal sphere. Those in the economic sphere, very different, and then in nature, in environmental sphere. So it needs many, many people who work together, who come from these spheres, and it has to be clear that nowadays economy is the strongest everywhere, wherever you look. Money makes the world go round. And here it's different. Money is one thing, economy is one thing, surrounded by the other three, and all the 4 of them have the same saying. And more people seek for that. You know, they like that, or at least they see the community and appreciate that and want to live in the community. We have more and more people who want to stay on the farm. We don't have space. We just finished 6 new apartments, and they are taken.
I
could have 100.
Understand immediately. I mean,
but this is new. This is new because most of the people want to have, you know, in the REITs, they want a cinema, they want more than one restaurant. The young people want meeting places, they want to go out, they want to have fun, they want music all the day, they want other things. But the wish for this kind of life also grows more and more, which is very interesting to me.
Yeah. How do you do that practically to work in the 4 dimensions? I mean, how do you integrate that in your decision-making processes?
This is nothing theoretical. It's not an idea, or it's not talking. It's just life. And you have the 4 dimensions everywhere. You don't have to create them. They are there everywhere. But normally they are not balanced. And we are trying to balance them. For example, I still remember in NatureTex, which is the textile production place, I had a customer asking me for a black baby body, a onesie for newborns until maybe 9 months, asking for a black onesie with a skull. Is it skull? Huh?
Yeah.
Printed on it.
Okay.
And this would have made good money, you know. But then I went to the school circle, cultural sphere, and I said, I have a, you know, a mixed feeling about this. What do you think? They said no, and then it was no. Things like that. So it's and you also have to realize that, to understand that dimensions are not separate from each other. They mingle into each other everywhere, always. So we just keep them apart in order to understand the different dynamics. But in the end, they are one. It's life. I don't know if I made myself clear. I'm sorry.
I think, yeah, you did.
Okay.
For me, at least. So. Yeah.
Yeah, this is for me very, very essential. Otherwise, I could not imagine being anywhere. I think this is the only way to create life.
Maybe it's also giving space for the 4 dimensions to meet and to have discussions together and to work on the same aims, on the same tasks together. And everyone from every dimension can give its input, and in this way coming to the right decisions.
Maybe we can also mention economy of love here. This is a certification we developed. And of course, you already have more than enough certifications around everywhere for everything. So we said we don't want to create something new. It's based on biodynamic certification. and it covers the other dimensions. And this is the only certification I know of which covers the 4 dimensions, because you have social aspects, fair trade, and so on. Of course, you have environmental and agricultural certifications. You have hardly any economy certifications. You have
it
the
is.
Gemeinwohl, there is, yeah.
And the share of the profits.
Yeah, there is, yeah. And but you don't have them all together.
in other certifications.
Yes.
Yeah. There's always one very heavy.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, what you're doing with this is amazing. Like you're basically having the plan to spread all over Egypt. Like,
No. No, we don't. This is very important. This is one thing. You know that we have the 2057 goals.
mhm.
2057 is far away, and which is very good, because Ibrahim Abouleish passed away for exactly 40 years after he started Sekem, and he had a 200 years plan. So he covered the first 40 years, and we said, okay, let's do the next 40 years, which is 2057. And those goals, what I lost the thread. Why did I open the goals? What was the question? I'm very sorry.
No worries. I just said in a very fun way that you want to spread all over Egypt.
Oh yes, oh yes, exactly. And one decision was that we do not want to grow, but we want to offer solutions. And this is what we do. We don't want to grow a huge, we don't want to be like a multinational at all. This is not our aim at all. We want to stay the size we are, more or less, but we want to become big in offering solutions.
Mhm.
And this is what we concentrate on until 2057. And the solutions, or the different projects, the different Sekem vision goals, we call them, we have 16, go in 5 steps. And only the 5th step would be spreading
all over Egypt.
All over Egypt, yes.
Yeah.
And we managed so far with compost. Compost is all over Egypt. I see lots of compost piles which have nothing to do with Sekem, the biggest joy.
Yeah.
And compost is now an Arabic word.
Yes.
It's in the language. It's
Yeah.
adapted to the language.
Compost.
So how do you pronounce it then?
Compost.
Compost. Okay. So very good. And
Right?
Yes.
you showed me also, Angela, the compost at Sekem, and was this then the role model for the people, for example, to see how it works and how this can be done, or?
Sure. Anyhow, we have the role model for everything, for the schools, for the agriculture, for the compost in the Sekem farm, at the Sekem farm. We have small compost, which is for the students, and we have the big compost, which is worked with the machines. So that, and many people are coming and looking at it, how the waste is turned into fertilizer. So yes, these are our models, which we show to people, and we teach them how to do it and help them also. And we go there and look if they have any problems to solve the problems, and yeah, to teach and to spread the ideas.
And how is it in Egypt? You may need to help me now, because I just know from other arid regions that it's sometimes really difficult to find the cow manure for making a good compost. But how is it in Egypt? Like, is it normal to have cows, or how do you get the cow manure? Basically.
Yes, in Egypt it is still very normal.
Mhm.
Even nearly each farmer has one cow at least, a donkey, some sheep. So the cow manures in the farmers, the cows are there, so cow manure can be provided. Maybe the more difficult is the carbon. That means the tree cuttings or any straw, any waste of plants to make the compost. But of course, in the desert, when we go into the desert, there is no any material in the beginning to make a compost. And this was my biggest astonishment, may I say. I want to make compost, and there's nothing to make compost. And then you have some straw, anything coming from the fields. You give it to the cows or you give it to the compost. So you need it everywhere. And now when I see our big heaps with the cuttings from the trees and the straw coming from the fields, I really feel very rich that we can make a lot of compost now. Yeah, this is an issue in the desert.
And how long would you say
the compost is irrigated? This is it needs watering.
In Europe, we are used to protect the compost heaps from the rain. We make a cover so that the rain is not going too much to the compost. And here we have to irrigate the compost heaps to have a good humidity so that the microorganisms can work. As everything in agriculture has to be irrigated. There is no rain. We have some years with 17 millimeters going up to 40 or 50 millimeters per year, which is nothing. So we are really depending on irrigating our fields and everything from underground water. And there, biodynamic agriculture helps us, of course, a lot, because the sand or the bare mineral soil does not hold the water really very good. So by using compost and incorporating carbon into the soil, the water holding capacity is increased a lot. So we use maybe 50% less water than conventional farms.
50 or
which is a lot.
15?
15.
Wow. Yeah.
50.
Yes. Wow. And that's a lot if you have 17 millimeters of rain per year. That's like, yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And also the microclimate changes with the time, over the time. Even here it totally changed. Humidity and more rain, and so it took many years, but it changes. It helps.
Yeah, and we have now clouds the whole year through.
Yeah.
And when I came 40 years ago, we saw the first very little cloud in November.
Yeah.
And we were so happy. See, there's a cloud. All the summer through, the sky was open. And of course, humidity also escapes. So now humidity increased a lot. It was maybe 15 or 20%, and now we have 40, 50, 60% of humidity in the air, which helps a lot for the plants and for all agriculture.
And like, if you look at the future of Egypt, I mean, even if you don't want to spread all over Egypt, I got that point. But like, if you consider the practices that Sekem is doing, like, what do you think, like, how much time would it take for other farmers to adopt those practices and really come into the benefits that Sekem is showing now?
Of course, this is going step by step. It's not something you can say 3 years is nothing, and starting from the 4th year, there is a benefit. It starts at least from the 2nd year. Of course, every farmer knows it that the first year is always the most difficult one. But then, starting from the second year, fertility increases and water holding capacity increases. Of course, we also plant trees and shrubs from the beginning. So the wind is broken, birds getting settling, other small animals come to the farm. So the biodiversity is increasing. Yeah, it starts at least from the second year and ongoing. And I think we can say from the fourth year, it's really, one can say now it's really a biodynamic farm and working. You can even feel it, not only you know that it is.
Mm.
And there are many organic farms which have nothing to do with Sekem. Not many, but some. And maybe interesting in this context also is the fact that we are tackling 40,000 farmers. You know this, huh? We talked about it, I think. Yeah, of course. This was the COP topic, of course. And this is very, very exciting. And we know that the current climate problems and everything and crisis has nothing to do directly and only with CO2, but this is a good and how do you this is a good entering into, or a good support, a good place to, you know, to support the farmer, because the farmer has farmers in general everywhere have the problem that they need to make money, and the produce is definitely nothing they can live on. And they also don't have the possibility and the know-how to do what we did at the very beginning, to have an added value chain. So the CO2 certificates are very, very essential and boosting the movement. And this is what we want in the end. We want, you know, people to start and to see, to experience what Angela just said. And then you don't need to apply any additional supports or something. People will know, and it will spread, I'm sure about that.
Mm-hmm.
And this would have been nothing to do with Sekem also. The 40,000 farmers, we would challenge and we would support, and we would they would get consultancy and so on, but they don't sell their produce to us or something.
Yeah. I mean,
which is important.
That's true. I mean, they're independent, but I still believe like that's one of the things which was also the idea of the Living Farms project, to show farms that are so living and so, let's say, vivid and
Yes.
special in their experience, that other people get inspired to
Yeah.
to do something similar or to make it their own.
Yes.
But to come
Exactly.
into this type of farming. And I just love the idea to have various biodynamic certified or non-certified farms throughout Egypt that are like clusters of Sekem, because I mean, you can't understand if you've not been there, but it's like, for me, it was really impressive to see how many people are involved at Sekem and are really promoting this high vibration of the place. And I mean, you touched upon at in an earlier stage, Konstanze, that you have also this weekly cycle where you come together. Like, how do you think also not just the farm organism can be influenced and can be spread throughout Egypt, but this idea of the social organism I found also very important, because it's sometimes forgotten even in biodynamics. Like, we concentrate on the farm and there we're doing super good things, but also the social organism is very important, and I found Sekem to be one of the places where you balance the things quite well. So how would you say could be such a kind of such a social organism be done elsewhere, or was it really the figure of Ibrahim who was so essential that it cannot be done elsewhere? I don't know. I hope it's not a too complicated question.
Yeah, what I said before about the 4 dimensions, and that the 4 dimensions need to be filled with different people, different characters, which means you need to have a community. And the community is not living just by working together. It needs to be nourished. And this is what we do in our morning circle. We meet at 6:30 every day except Fridays. Fridays is off. Friday is our Sunday. And we work on very different topics. Currently, we have a guest from Holland, and we hear about biography healing and, yeah, I think something like that.
Body landscape.
Body landscaping, exactly. Very interesting. So we do many, many different topics. And some years ago, I started to bring my book every day in the morning and write down what did we do, who was there, and what was said, because it is pearls, and I forgot. So that made me mad. I didn't even remember at the end of the year who was here this year. What did we read? What did we do? What we do this? And so I do that, and this is like one of the nourishments for the community. And we have different communities. We have the morning circle, which is only between 10 and 20 people. If everybody shows up, maybe 25, not more. Because it's not for everybody, not everybody wants to share at 6:30 things. And then we have other things, like twice a year we have the spring festival and the autumn festival for everybody. And this is what we talked about at the very beginning, which was organized this time for the first time by a student from the school. We have
the core program.
The core program.
Yeah. For all workers, they do artistical work. They work on sustainable themes, getting to know what's about the sustainability and so on, so that they really can cope up with the ideas of Sekem. So it's not something which the business people are doing now. It's our thing. It's our aim.
And this is maybe even more individual potential unfolding. And in order to have a functioning community, you need individuals, strong individuals. The stronger the individuals are, the stronger the community is.
Mm-hmm.
So this 6:30 meeting in the morning is very, very essential. It is a topic for newcomers, a struggle, I would say. And then people ask, why do you meet so early? And we don't want to meet so early, but we were searching for one time. Everybody has, is free, really free, not already planning and for the day, and I don't know. And this was the only time we found. So this might change, but that's the reason why it is with the years I learned to see also other benefits. Like in the hot summer, it's just wonderful to walk on the farm at 6:30 in the morning. It's fresh and nice. But other than that, it is nourishing the community. And you need nourishment for communities.
And another part of the nourishment, or where the art is implemented in the daily work, is the beauty on the farm. Beauty and cleanliness, we are really looking for it, and we have a group of 15 gardeners which are caring for that, so that it's not just hanging a picture in the office, but that all the surrounding is really clean, that there's a nice smell from the trees, that there are beautiful flowers. So all this have an impression and an impact on all the people. So this is also this cultural side which is implemented in the daily work.
Mhm.
or in the daily life, it's better to say.
Yeah, and that are things which can be replicated, I guess. Like you can implement a circle where people come together, exchange, and that you can implement beauty depending on where you are in the world. But this can be done on every region throughout the world. That's great. Yeah.
Of course. It's just the thing that you have to understand that it is important.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will say, why should we come together? And if every one of those workers now will work in this time where we meet, we can produce this and this and this and this more.
Yeah.
And from the very beginning of the farm, we had always these meetings in Thursdays afternoon, the last hour of the week. We were sitting together. There was a piano, there was music, and Dr. Ibrahim was speaking about anything, not about the work, about trees, about a religious theme, something else which really nourishes the souls, which are so much in the daily work. And this always was a highlight of the week.
Mhm.
Sometimes even fairy tales.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's important now. Well, that sounds good. Now I wish myself even more to join those circles.
You
Yeah.
can
So,
come anytime. You're
yeah.
most welcome.
So at the end of a podcast, I always ask the guests why they continue to do their work in biodynamics. And I know you're a little bit at this generational shift now where some tasks are being taken over by others and so on. But I'm pretty sure that both of you will continue to be connected with Sekem in one or another way. So, what are your personal 3 reasons to join or to be there still? So,
Do you want to start?
Yes.
so
I know my answer because I've been thinking about it, but it's very short.
So, as I see the biodynamic agriculture as really the basic and the most important work on earth, I want to inspire as many young people as possible in Egypt and all over the world. So I will stay in this. Maybe this is one and the second and the third reason.
good run. So, yeah, thank you very much. And you, Konstanze?
For me, the first reason is people, and the second reason is people, and the third reason is people.
Hmm.
And that's the only thing, really. This is what I enjoy. This is what makes me wake up happy and see and go out and just witness what's happening with the individuals and with the community and with the kids, and it's a miracle.
Hmm. A wonder, as I said at the
Oh
beginning.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much, the two of you. And I'm pretty sure it will not be the last time that we've spoken and seen one another. So thanks for joining the podcast. And I will link Sekem, but also the work you're doing with Biodynamics Egypt so that the people can check out what amazing work you're doing there. And thanks for being here.
You are welcome.
Thank you for having us. It was lovely talking to you, seeing you, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing you again.
We will. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.